Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, as you probably have known by now, I'm off to Australia very shortly. I fly out in 2 days, but I just was going over all the rules and regulations for Australia, and then I also want to talk to you about what happens if your insurance company, you're on a trip and you test positive for COVID. Doesn't matter, you can't go on the cruise, but you have insurance. But then when you turn in the insurance, they ask you for something, you don't have it, are you gonna get paid? Let's talk about all that kind of stuff. So, here in North America, we have basically done away with our COVID protocols, right? Other than the cleaning on the ships and stuff, some cruise ships are still having some crew members, you're allowed to wear a mask or you don't have to wear a mask. And then we also have in the, say for instance, the buffet is doing tongs in some cruise lines still, or serving the food to you. But basically, most passengers have free reign now. There's still a few events that haven't come back, like ship tours and things like that. But overall, we're pretty much back to normal here in North America. Our Caribbean cruises, our Alaska cruises, all seem to be going quite normal. However, that's not the case when you're going to Australia. So I have my rules and regulations here in front of me. And let's go over right off the bat. It says, for this specific voyage, Australia protocols and vaccination and testing requirements. So, all guests 12 years and older must be fully vaccinated. Now, they don't go into details on boosters yet, but at least vaccinated. So, if you're unvaccinated, you're not going on a cruise in Australia unless you get an exemption. And right now, I don't even know if the cruise lines are doing that. Within 72 hours of embarkation, please take a COVID test with either results and enter the results into Verifly. I don't have Verifly app, but I'll try and get that. So, but the type you have to do now, you have to take a medically observed PCR test within 72 hours. That's the easiest one to do because it gives you the most amount of time. It gives you basically 3 days. However, Canada and Australia, for instance, I'm filming this video at 10 a.m. on the 27th of December. Well, at this time, it's currently 2 a.m. on the 28th of December. So if I took the test right now, I'm already almost 24 hours behind. My day's already gone by because they will not say, they go by their date and their time. So if I take my test now, in 4 days or 3 days from now, it's going to be 4 days there, and they will probably not accept my test from what I can find out so far. So basically a PCR test here in Canada before I fly is out. Can't do that. What can I do next? Well, they say, you know what? You can take a medically observed or a home test for yourself. And the way you can do the home test, which is probably the way I'm going to have to do it at the hotel, is you have to show specific things, okay? Now, you have to show your negative test next to your government-issued photo ID with a clock showing the time the test was completed. A wristwatch, a mobile phone, a screen, or a clock wall, etc. So you know how easy that is to fake, right? I can go on my phone right now and I can change the date to January 2nd, 2023 on my phone, and I can put it there, put my passport picture there, put my negative test that I took 7 months ago that I still have in my drawer right there, take a picture of it, and I'm done. I didn't take the test. I faked the test. but no one can prove I didn't take the test. I've done exactly what they asked me to do. So as far as I'm concerned, that protocol is a waste of time. If I, with my limited knowledge and intelligence, can fake this, anybody out there can fake this. So I understand why they're doing it, because they're being forced to do it out there once again in Australia for cruise ships, with all the negative press that's going on in that. However, I really disagree with the way they're doing it. If you're going to do it in the port, test people on the way in, and then let them get on the ship. Yes, this is going to be easy. I can fly with my negative test, and here's the thing. I fly to Australia. I celebrate there on New Year's Eve and everything around Sydney Harbor, and get out and mix up with everybody and everything without a mask and all this other stuff. And then I get on back to my hotel room and I take a negative test, and oh crap, I just took and I tested positive. An irresponsible person could just say, okay, well, I'll just fake it with my one I already have, right? Even if I tested positive. So again, I disagree with this. Full mask procedures are also back in place. You have to wear them indoors, everywhere except when you're eating and drinking. You have to wear them in and out of embarkation, disembarkation. You have to wear them on all of the cruise lines' planned cruise tours, including the 6 hours of bus ride we're going to have to do in one of our tours out there that we were able to book. So yeah, it's back to the olden days of COVID here, folks, on our trip to Australia. And hopefully they get over this soon, and hopefully in the new year this changes and they don't have to do these protocols anymore, because the rest of the world isn't doing them other than Japan right now. So, yeah, but here's the thing. I've caught COVID once before. I was on a cruise line, but it was another press junket, and the cruise line looked after me. I wasn't worried about it anyway. But I have read some stories of people that were reporting that they caught COVID, weren't able to go on their cruise, but they had insurance. But when they tried to put in their COVID insurance and claim that they caught it, they were denied and requested more information. What were they requested? What was the one key element? They dictated all their expenses. They had receipts from the hotel room. They had receipts for food. They had receipts for the change of airfare. They had receipts for everything. What they didn't have a receipt for was an official letter from whoever tested them where they tested positive for COVID. Either a doctor's note saying they tested positive, or the technician whoever administered it, if you were at a laboratory, whoever tested it, you need the documentation of the date and time that you tested. Because you could have gone on your cruise and then tried to submit all these hotel bills and everything and get, get your money back. So the insurance companies are willing to pay for your insurance and everything, but they need that proof that you actually tested positive. They're not going to take our word for it. So if you are traveling out there and you are traveling into an area that requires testing, or you're on a cruise ship and you test positive and you get isolated and you're looking to get some insurance money back, remember, do not leave the doctor's office without that note and that documentation saying that you tested positive. Because it's a whole line to call a cruise line up a week after you got home and ask, oh, by the way, on this particular sailing, on this particular ship, I don't know the name of the doctor, but I need to get my documentation that I tested positive. The cruise line is gonna have a hard time doing that. They're busy with other things. They're busy with current people with COVID, et cetera, et cetera. It takes a long time for that kind of stuff to happen, and it's much simpler to just make sure before you leave the office that you have that documentation so you can get your money back and paid. Because it's no fun not being able to go on your cruise. It's even more not fun losing all the money for your cruise at the same time. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.